Hello, it's day whatever of This Much Is True. You're very welcome along. Get into a pair of knickknacks or whatever, shorts, jump on in. The water is absolutely boiling. No, it's not. You'll burn your buttocks. We don't want that. The water's warm, so climb in, get your swimming trunks or your bikini, or if you have to be in the all together, that's fine. We look the other way. And welcome along to day whatever it is of This Much Is True, because I've lost count. I've been off-piste as well, because I've a bit pissed off, really, with life. I've just been in the long grass when I'm not smoking it, and decided no point in talking to you guys, because I didn't have much to talk about. Feeling a bit down in myself, I was. And so I just kind of slunk around most of the week. Got busy here and there with voiceovers. Got a really bad haircut. Look, guys. I got the number one blade. Yeah, that is Nick Cotton out of EastEnders circa 1985, when he'd be Cotton pour out his mother Dot Cotton up to the two eyes. Do you remember that? Come on, give us another couple of $100,000, you stupid cow. Oh, of course, my lovely son. Of course. Are you sure you don't need 150, Nicker? Yeah, that'll do nicely, love. Because he always had that really malicious hairdo, just like I have. Now, today I want to talk to you about... I can't talk to you about it because it's indescribable. But is it just me? Or are any of the rest of you feeling that the world is sinking into a crap sinkhole? How do you feel about the future? Are you optimistic? Are you optimistic about it? Well, I'd kind of say, good luck with that. I want to be optimistic with you. But I feel things are not right. They haven't been right. I think they haven't been right since 9/11, really. That's when my kind of world started to get very shady looking. And then when we went to 2020 and we're all told to behave like Muppets, and indeed some of the most professional people we rely upon ended up dancing in the streets, quite literally, when they weren't dancing in the wards, and yet we were supposed to be in the middle of all fucking hell breaking loose, and yet there's people dressed up in all their regalia, both law-abiding and health officials dancing around. What the fuck was that about? That was, I think, evil at work. You might have another view on it. And the conspiracy stuff, we're all fed up. A bit like in Ireland at the moment, we have a problem here, and it's got nothing to do with racism. Absolutely not. But we were kept in our place for so long by the establishment here. Every time anybody said, listen, can I question this, that, it's not sitting right with the community. You're racist, you're far right, you're racist. That spell word, it only lasted for so long. And with our recent referendum as well, the people basically gave a winkle picker kick up the hole to the Irish government. I hope their anus is still fucking throbbing after it, because that's only the beginning. Where I'm going with that is, people, you can, what's the word these days? Gaslight for so long. And after a while, people say, yeah, we know it's a kind of magic trick now. We know how it's done. Yeah, what am I? I'm a fucking racist. Yeah, okay. I'm, I'm homophobic. Right. Next, because right now we're going to address the fucking situation, and you can get off your fucking high horse and try and give it a rest with the labelling. And that's what happens to people. Law of elasticity. Very, very simple. Push them so far and they will snap back at you. But that does not answer the question as to what is at play in the round, in the larger sphere. Sure, nobody would like better than me to say I'm 60 years of age, put on my slippers now and dawdle off into the sunset. Well, that's fine. But I happen to have children. I would hope to have grandchildren. And I kind of worry about them with all the malarkey that's been going on, all the brainwashing, all the... What is it? What is your man Ike calls it? He has a good track record of getting things right. Tiptoe totalitarianism. I can't even say it. But something is at play. And today I kind of had it answered, because I always suspect anyway, but there's a guy, I'm not going to identify him because he might not want that, but he's somebody I've always looked up to, just in terms of getting your mind right. Now, some would say, oh, he's a bit of a charlatan and all that. Okay, Derek Acorah was a bit of a charlatan to some people's mind. I happen to think he was great entertainment and worth tuning into Most Haunted every so often. By the same token, I happen to like this man. I've followed him for years. I've seen him at the start of the year. I hope to go to Glasgow in July and maybe see him again with my buddy who's also subscribed to the course. And it's not, by the way, it's not like brainwash thing at all. It's not. It's just about getting this kind of right in order to achieve your goals and all the rest of it. But anyway, he was on, he did a YouTube broadcast today. And I know he took a certain intervention that he wasn't happy about. In fact, I would reckon he was coerced into it because he needed to travel and stuff. And there's a bit of regret, like a lot of people, because God knows what's coursing around in your veins. Sorry to break the news to you guys. But hopefully you'll be fine. And he said, let's call it what it is. I won't do his accent. But he said, never in my life have I felt so much evil around. Now I think he hit the old nail on the noggin, because I think there's a lot of evil around. I'm not going to get in and out of it. I think we have instincts, we have intuitions. It's a sixth sense, if you like, but something's going down. And 2020 was only the beginning. And conspiracy theory, my arse, in a rich parsley sauce. And I'm happy to be wrong. I can't lose. I can't lose. I'm going out on the ledge. I'm saying I think things are goddamn awful and very sinister and malevolent. There is stuff being foisted on children you wouldn't... nonsense. In a lot of cases. Nonsense. But malevolent nonsense. Children, for God's sake, being mutilated in some cases, quite literally, and crazy decisions being foisted on them. And we're all supposed to go along, and we're you know what? We are the generation that no longer tries to intervene. Instead, we whip out a fucking camera and we film it. We film assaults. Entertainment for the masses, bread and circuses. We film it. We don't intervene in case we get a kick ourselves. That's what happens. Now, on that score, I want to get the hell out of it. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge now, because I'm just going to sound like I've got the menopause. And by the way, women, you shouldn't worry about the menopause. You should worry about the men who don't. Just thought I'd throw that in. Hello to my handful of regulars. You know who you are. It's great to hear from you. Love if everybody could say hello. This much is true at protonmail.com or the comments below. Like and subscribe, because that way you get a little ding ding bell that alerts you that another pile of crap is on its way on YouTube, courtesy of me to you. Now, here's an interesting chap I've met on my travels. He is a local DJ in Ireland in a region called County Kildare even. His name is Milky Twiddlers, and this is an exclusive, I suppose it's a commemorative interview at this stage, that he carried out with the late Derek Acorah. Do you remember him? Where's me dad's? Outside playing footy with Jan Butty. Oh yes, that great Liverpudlian mystic himself, Derek Acorah, who passed away actually in 2020 of respiratory disease. I always liked Derek, me I did. And some would say he's a charlatan. I say, no, he was great entertainment. He was great. And you'll hear this recording now. It's exclusive to you. It's totally true, only the facts have been changed. And you'll hear Milky Twiddlers, local DJ. This is how you can talk like that. Milky Twiddlers, right? Who's on the line? Line 1. And he managed to get Derek Acorah a year or so before his sad demise. So listen in. I hope to hear from you. Bye.
How's it going, listeners? Live from County Kildare in the Clane Triangle. That's Clane, Robertstown and Sallins. 'Tis myself here, Milky Twiddlers, with another podcast. Codcast, call it whatever you want. Now let's hope it's a better one than last week's, which was an absolute disaster with PJ Gallagher, who, let's just put it this way, has an awful dirty tongue. Lots of complaints afterwards that people were offended by the language what he employed during the broadcast, so sorry about that. So today I think we'll make it a little bit more ghostly and spiritual and different and interesting, because on the other end of the line I got Mr. Derek Acorah, formerly of Most Haunted, where he was supposedly exposed as a fake, but I don't believe it myself, and I don't think you will either. Derek Acorah, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Nice to speak to you.
Katie Hopkins, the mad English woman who just likes saying what she thinks and annoying the virtue signallers, which, let's face it, is just about the majority of people these days, just let off a massive tweet, Derek. She says you was in Lidl in the aisle there and you were buying cigarettes, or ciggies, as you'd call them. Anyway, Derek, Katie says you had a big foghorn mouth on you, a real giving it the big I am, and you barged past, narrowly missing a veteran's Mr. Whippy, because it was a hot day, like, shouting and all. Is that true? Do you have a big booming voice, Derek?
Well, a lot of people say that I've got a booming voice. I don't recognise that myself.
Anne Widdecombe, her what looks like Quasimodo going through a car wash, let off a massive tweet saying that you was, or is, whatever, a ginger overweight chancer.
Well, I'm overweight, I'm not ginger. I'm a spiritual medium.
What the fuck be that, Derek? Is that like you're ordering a steak for a priest or something? You know, like, Father, how would you like your steak? And I'd normally say something smart like, just cut the cow's tail off and wipe its ass, because I'm Milky Twiddlers, and jokes does be expected from me, like. But her priest, my answer, I'd like it spiritual medium, but not too much blood, like, because that reminds me of how Jesus died, and I do have flashbacks, like. Is that the kind of spiritual medium you're on about, like?
I'm a very, very, responsible spiritual medium. I follow all the codes.
Like the Green Cross Code, like?
Sam keeps on telling me I do.
Who the fuck is Sam? You know, like with spirits, ghosts and that, how does they show up in your vivid imagination, like?
So, if you're an open instrument and they know this, which they do, they'll clamour around you and they'll come at you 24/7. So you have to be in control of your communicating and your skills and the responsibility with it.
Could I, or anyone, like, summons up spirits? I'm not talking about ordering vodka online from Tesco and that, but do you just shout at them, spirits, show yourself, show yourself, or something?
So, I open up when I go to work. When I'm doing anything spiritual, I open up. And I always open up with a prayer of invocation. It's what we call protection.
Funny, I was interviewing Jordan this morning, and you've got a lot in common with her, you know.
I've got a lot in common with Jordan.
Well, you've both got your knockers.
Yes, of course we have, yeah. Now, I wonder whose knockers are the worst.
Very funny, isn't he? Very funny, listeners. Jesus. Just like to get political for a minute. Has the old English government got it wrong on Brexit? Like, I've a percentage in me head as to how much they got it wrong, like. Let's see if you can predict what that number is.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I would say there'd have to be 96%.
Jesus! How do you do that? Like, 96% was exactly what I was thinking. Jesus, Derek, I'm a believer. Jesus, you're very good. Isn't he very good, listeners? Eh? Jesus. Derek, do all these voices in your head drive you fucking nuts?
Let's use an example. A spirit person suddenly shows him or herself to me, but they're not talking.
Sorry to interrupt, like, but don't wives do that when you come home sheepishly after a feed of pints in the pub, like, and then the wife comes into the room, but she's not talking? Happens to loads of us, Derek. So, them spirits is the same and all?
I've come off track of what the question was, sorry.
Concentrate, Derek, will you? I was saying, how do the spirits come to you, like?
I see a spirit person very tangibly. When a spirit person comes into the atmosphere, in a scenario of a stage, a theatre, I will see the outline start to develop. I will then start to see structure. Then the last thing's being features.
Now, let's say you're doing a show, Derek, and you're a nice man, that goes without saying, but the audience cop on that you're not Derek Acorah, but more Derek a Chancer. Couldn't there be thousands baying for your blood coming at you with pitchforks to stick up your bum and stuff? Derek, how do you escape that kind of rage and anger and that?
Could be 2,000, 2,500 people in that theatre. and I'll run off the stage and go up into the top tier.
Derek, you're a lovely man. No, Derek, I do mean that. Not in a gay way. Not that that would be wrong, like. Keep that rainbow flag flying, folks. But you're a lovely man. And if I was a man who, biblically laid with other men, well, then I'd love to go to bed with you. But as I'm not, I'm leaving it as Derek, you're a lovely man, a very misunderstood man. Oh, God, Derek, you're lovely, so you are.
Thank you, that's lovely. That's better than what a lot of people talk about me or say about me. You know something, I'd love you as my guest, if you would sometime, when I'm on my tour. Please come along an evening, maybe with a friend, and just sit, and if you've never seen an evening like this, and then maybe we can have another gab. You tell me what your findings were.
Oh, you've been a lovely guest, Derek, so fuck off to your ghosts and hauntings and that, and I might just make it to that show, provided it's free, like.
I'd love you to do that. It's my pleasure, and thank you. I've really enjoyed this.
I'm a bit choked up because Derek Acorah is very misunderstood, like. I'll go so, and see you for another Milky Twiddlers podcast soon. May the road rise with you. See yous. Bye.